It's Movie Time. It's produced by John DeSando. Listen to shows and read reviews online at wcbe.org.
I'm John
And
DeSando,
I'm Wayne Miller.
and this is It's Movie Time.
That's right. The great uncle of the star of our movie, Black Adam, starring The Rock himself, Dwayne Johnson. And,
All right.
and my former name was Wayne Johnson.
Before you
The Pebble.
before you start throwing your lightning bolts at this movie,
No, I'm going to levitate around the room.
I want to inform you that it's already made $145 million
Yeah, I know.
global.
And not surprising, I have to just start by saying, not quite my type of movie. And
Yeah,
I
not
do
mine
like
either.
some of these. I like those Suicide Squad movies, pretty well. I like, some of the...
Most of the Marvel I like, I think.
Yeah, they're fun.
Yeah.
They're fun, and some of them can be a little heavy, like some of the Marvel, but this is a DC
This is
one.
DC?
And they do have some of their heaviness, which, of course, Justice League, which a lot of people panned.
And we have the Justice Society in this one. It's a precursor, apparently.
It could be.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell. Sometimes
Really? You don't think this is a crystal clear movie?
I don't think it was the martinis beforehand, or my obligatory nap, if the movie doesn't quite hold my attention. Especially some of the backstory of Black Adam, back 5,000 years ago.
Listen, before we get into it, let's just say one thing we know, and probably one reason why it merits a few minutes on It's Movie Time.
Yeah, okay.
It's Dwayne Johnson.
Yes, and I think probably getting to be the most well-known internationally, but also I think the highest paid.
Absolutely highest paid actor in the world.
Yeah, and kind of reminds me, of a bit of the career of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah,
In a way.
that's good.
With some of that, especially since one of his early movies was like Conan the Barbarian, whatever.
Yeah,
And,
you bring up a point that I hadn't thought of, which is the difference between, say, Schwarzenegger and Johnson. And I think there is a difference.
Yeah.
And you know what my take is?
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger's a much better actor.
You believe so?
I believe so.
What's interesting, I would think, my gut is telling me Dwayne Johnson's a better actor, but there were some more recent serious films that Schwarzenegger's done.
And that's what I'm thinking about.
The one that it's a virus has wiped out so many people, and he's like a farmer, and his daughter's got this disease that turns people into ravenous zombies and stuff. And he did a very good low-key job.
Let's put it this way.
Yeah.
I think that Schwarzenegger was willing to try different genres
Yeah.
and different acting challenges. I don't think Dwayne Johnson
Yeah.
stretches himself other than that big smile.
The big smile, the cuteness that he has,
And he doesn't.
and glibness.
And he doesn't have that in Black Adam, as far as I'm concerned.
Outside of some of the irony, which of course one of the young folks had to explain to him what irony is, but there are some humorous, ironic moments.
You know
in this movie.
who should have shown Dwayne Johnson more about that in this film was Pierce Brosnan.
Oh yeah, Pierce does a good job. Yeah, with Dr. Fate or something like that.
He's
Yeah,
pretty world weary.
a member of the four-member Justice Society, which are kind of tasked to
I have no
try to
idea.
bring down Black Adam, who is the epitome of an anti-hero.
Oh, it's ludicrous. From the beginning, he's smashing, he's incinerating, he's dropping people from the sky. I mean, and he does it because, and he gets away with it because he is just so physically charming. He's
Yeah,
just so,
yeah.
that even when he doesn't try,
Yeah.
you kind of accept him and you know that you're gonna like him.
Well, in some of the comedies that he's done a good job. And one review I was reading, I don't believe it was yours, I think it was Variety magazine. Anyhow, they were kind of talking about, which to me was, they were really stretching, trying to find a theme to this movie, and a lot of it was the anti-hero doesn't want to get involved, blah, blah, blah. And they kind of compared him a little bit with Humphrey Bogart.
Oh, I saw that.
And even mentioned about was it the Jungle Cruise?
Jumanji.
Jumanji, but also Jungle Cruise.
Jungle Cruise specifically,
he's,
Bogey.
a century past boat, small boat
Yes,
captain,
yes.
like Bogey in African Queen. And they
Yeah.
kind of mention about that, but of course Bogey's famous role in Casablanca is saying, he doesn't stick his neck out for no one. Whereas,
I
of course,
stick my neck out for nobody.
Bogey though doesn't love to kill people like it seems
Well,
like
yeah.
Black Adam.
Don't you think there's a vast difference, perhaps like the Grand Canyon, between the two actors?
Oh, sure, yeah, definitely.
Oh,
Well, and they tried to squeeze some tears out of the audience with the backstory of Black Adam's daughter, wife and son, and things like that. And I thought interesting a CGI use of making Black Adam
Yes.
Johnson look smaller
I know,
than
thinner,
what he
yes,
is in
yes,
real life.
yes.
I kind of noticed that. I thought, wow, it's 5,000 years in hibernation. He packed on the pounds and muscle a little bit.
I guess he's been disentuned after almost 5,000 years, right? He was
Yes.
he was attempted to be heroic
Yes,
years ago in this Mideastern country, and he got
a slave, and even showing like scars on his
Yeah.
back from being
Right.
whipped, and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Oh, kind of reminded me of how the Egyptians treated the Israelis.
oh yeah.
During the Ten Commandments.
And it made me think of the difference again with Spartacus.
Yes, yeah.
Again, the contrasts just illuminate how superficial.
It just, and now what I started comparing it with, in a movie I really enjoyed, was that latest Suicide Squad movie that had the whole gang of people out fighting, the bad guy, whatever. And they handled an ensemble cast with a major star in the lead. They handled it a lot better, that you became more engaged with. And here, John, I know that you, one of the points you wanted to bring up was one of the members of the Justice Society, Cyclone.
Yes, right. So she's a transgender.
Yeah, yeah.
And I liked that touch.
Yeah.
But there's nothing. I mean, unless you know that from the trades,
Well,
you're not going to know that.
Well, yeah. Well, and the thing of it is, and even the kind of the leader of the four members Justice Society squad, Hawkman, was, I liked that actor, and I liked basically that role, but really I couldn't get into it.
Aldous Hodge.
And the one that, of course, I just couldn't get into was the Atom Smasher. Big guy. That, but it was funny. It was in a review I read that it kind of comparing some of the Marvel characters to the Justice Society, like Dr. Fate,
Right.
the older guy, played by Patrick Stewart in the X-Men movies.
Well,
and
I thought
stuff.
too. I mentioned I don't see anybody else mentioning it, but the similarity with Hulk between the Atom Smasher and
Exactly, and that was brought out in this review I was reading.
Okay.
And Cyclone, I think they compared her to Storm.
Okay.
From the X-Men.
All right.
But and that's just it. John, and I think we brought this up when we did an earlier review, I think, of a Marvel movie, that gee, Monique, I get and I'm a historian, and I always try to keep a lot of things in mind, the different players and time period and backstories and plots and blah, blah, blah. But my God, I'm finding it very weary with the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies and the DC ones. And DC could come out with some interesting ones, like the Wonder Woman movies. I like
Yes,
that.
I like that too.
Yeah, a recent Batman movie I got into.
It's good.
Patrick Robert Pattinson. Some of those I get into, so it's going to be. But John, one thing I might want to bring up, and that is staying through the credits. And of course, Marvel usually has now 3 or 4 like little scenes setting up something for the next time. DC usually goes with one kind of big one, with a major star popping up to build up a thing. And I'm going to give it away because it is so many articles out there that Henry Cavill
Oh yeah, it's just,
saying that
Superman.
he is resurrecting Superman.
all right, let's hold our thought.
Okay?
People are gonna have to go to Backtalk on our web,
You know,
our
that's-
podcast experience to hear more.
That's very good. That's a good way of forcing them into your podcast.
Yeah. So what do you advise them?
Oh, about this movie?
Yeah.
It's enjoyable. It's fun. It's definitely a popcorn movie. A lot of people are trying to find deeper meaning in it, and some of which eluded me.
All right, my take is my usual phrase, it's a hot mess.
It is.